Alright, see, I'm starting to get the face mask to come in here. And the top bar is basically just across the middle. Hey, Mom. Thank you. I'm making the face mask. Oh, hi everybody. Hi Leaf. Hi Ava Angel. This is a quarterback for the, if you guys like football, NFL, American football. This guy's a quarterback for the Commanders. The NFL's down to there's two divisions, the AFC and the NFC, and basically we've gotten to the point where each division has their championship, and then the two division champions meet in the Super Bowl. So this guy is like the most exciting quarterback. Rookie quarterbacks never win a playoff game. And last week they went up against the best team in the league. Either the best team or the second best team. And they beat the best team or second best team in the league. Totally unpredicted. Nobody thought that would happen. So now I'm painting him. Now I'm painting Jayden Daniels because he's inspiring. That's different people watch sports differently. How I watch sports is, I watch them and I think, hey, if that guy could do that, I could do that. Hey, that guy killed it in this way. I bet I could probably kill it in that way too. I like sports for inspiration. So now I'm painting him because he inspired me. I was working on the portrait of my aunt, but I've gotten into doing fine details now, so it's like or it's just, I'm doing really tiny details, so it's kind of frustrating. And this is a canvas that I had with some paint on it, so, sometimes it's more fun to do big chunks of paint. Yes, nice. Thanks, Leaf. Yep. That's exactly what it is. Jayden Daniels, he's on the Commanders. Commanders are playing for the NFC Championship tomorrow. And he's like, I don't know, exciting and new. Yeah, it's a sports thing. Yeah, I love football. Leaf, I love football. Football's my favorite. Every year, the worst depression. I have some people get seasonal depression from the weather. I get it when football goes away. Nice portions on the figure, though. I've been doing figures the whole 3 months. Thank you. Yeah, the portions are so hard. I realize kind of everything's portions because you kind of like. The most interesting feature to me was the arm, so I started drawing the arm, and then it was like, oh, that should be over here. Oh, and now I kind of messed the whole thing up because I'm going off of a photograph, and the photograph I'm going off of the waist ends at the waist, so like here. So I don't know what to do with the lower area, if I should just make something up or not. But yeah, the proportions are driving me nuts, and then. Yeah, I'll start working on something that's too small, like too small of a detail, and then I have to end up erasing it or painting over it or whatever anyway. Super Bowl is the beginning of February. Like February, I actually don't know when. 2 weeks from tomorrow is the Super Bowl. Super Bowl Sunday. The colors are just random again. Well, I guess like the... Here, actually, I'll show you guys the. Let me see. Screen share. Oh, I don't know how to do that. Oh, thank you. Thanks. The reflection in the glasses is. Makes it cool. It was in the picture I'm going off of, and I thought, oh man, what a headache. That's going to be really hard to paint. But believe it or not, it actually makes the reflection in the glasses makes the glasses way easier to paint because then I don't have to worry about, the fine details. You're basically free to mess up the fine details however you want, which is nice. Yeah, sports withdrawal indeed. That's exactly what it is. I got that idea from Hunter S. Thompson, the author, um, and that's what he famously his suicide note. He said that one of the reasons for killing himself was that football season was over. And I thought, man, that's so funny because the same thing. I mean, I'm never suicidal, but I every year I think, oh man, football's over, and it is just depressing, you know. If you love football, like one of the really exciting things about the weekend is, you know, Saturday comes and college football's on. You know, no matter what happened that week, you could have the worst week in the world, but all you got to do is drag your butt through to Saturday, and boom, college football. And all you got to do is make it to Sunday, and boom, college football. Make it to Monday, Monday night football. Just got to drag yourself to Thursday, then Thursday night football. You know, if you love football, life is good in the fall. Yeah, I guess I don't really know any official language. I'm talking about proportions when I said portions. I assume that's what you mean too. But yeah, like the portion here. Yeah, what is the difference between a proportion and a portion? I guess I was really using them interchangeably. Oh yeah, I was gonna say about the colors. I forgot. You could, if you're, I don't know if this is interesting to you or not, but if you think it's interesting, you could see the picture I'm going off of. You could just search Jayden Daniels, New York Times. I would share it, but I can't find it for some reason. Or sorry, I can find it. Sharing my screens being a pain in the butt. Now where does that go? Oh. Right. And then there's kind of. Yeah, Super Bowl. Yeah, and Super Bowl's right around Valentine's Day. I don't know. Super Bowl has always been way more exciting to me than Valentine's Day, but um, I don't know. I guess some people like Valentine's Day more. But yeah, Super Bowl. I guess I would say Valentine's Day is some people's Super Bowls. I don't know. I've never been a big Valentine's Day guy. Although it's fun when you're a kid because candy. When you're a kid, Valentine's Day is like a second Halloween. This football is straight up and down. It needs to be angled a little bit. Oops. Let's see if we could angle the football. You gotta move over, Mr. Football. I don't know. I would assume the way I look to football is the same as you look to chocolate. I just feel like chocolate, you know, you could go get it any time. It would be like if chocolate, if you just had to wait for the weekend to like eat chocolate, and then like on Monday night you could have a piece of chocolate. Yeah. So imagine that. Imagine Monday night you could have a piece of chocolate. Um, Thursday night you could have a piece of chocolate, and then Saturday and Sunday you get to gorge on chocolate. But then imagine that's only in the fall time, and then if it gets to be, spring or summer, then you can't eat chocolate anymore. Or you could eat like Canadian chocolate, which is really bad. Not that actual Canadian chocolate is bad, but you could watch Canadian football in the. When is the Grey Cup? The Canadian Football Championship, I think, is in the fall, so it's really on all spring. Oh, nice, Leaf. Nice. Did you find the picture? Did you find the exact picture? Because that would be cool. But I don't know. It's kind of hard to match to get the right picture. What's really interesting is the uniform's all black. But then if you have the picture, here's what's cool about football pictures is he's wearing a visor and the visor's always reflecting. And then if you look up close in the visor in any football picture, you see the whole stadium. So it's really cool. I'm kind of excited to try to depict that, but that's going to be kind of hard to do. But it's pretty interesting with all the reflections and stuff. Okay, you have a. Oh shoot! I need really bright yellow. You have It's interesting with oops. What is interesting? I forgot what I was saying is interesting. Something about I guess football pictures in particular are very dramatic because you get to see the whole stadium. It's like a dramatic event. You have some athlete and they're they train at some skill for 20 years and then they do it live in front of 100,000 people. And this is cool. There's 100,000 people are all sitting watching this guy do whatever he's doing. You could have a picture of this guy and it's just him, so it looks like it's a solo event. But then inside of his face mask, you see the 100,000 people that are watching him. So that kind of makes kind of like a cool, in my opinion, sort of romantic scene. Like what could be cooler? All these people are watching him. Now, I gotta draw the logo. All this stuff is gonna be really hard to do. And there's a bunch of questions like how accurate do you make the logo? Can I leave it as a yellow blob? I think I probably can't do that. Where'd my orange go? Wait, what changes brain chemistry? Wait, both change brain chemistry. Both what? Are we talking about football and chocolate both change brain chemistry? In which case, I guess wouldn't anything change your brain chemistry? Isn't your brain chemistry constantly being altered by inputs? I don't really know that much about it. That's how I think of it. Is that do you think that's an accurate way to think about it? Do you know much about that, Ava? I don't know. I'm sort of peripherally interested in the brain, but not too much. All right. And here's another thing that's hard. I don't like faces. I only painted landscapes until last September. I did a self-portrait of myself, and then I did that portrait I'm doing right now. So the only human things I've ever done are faces. I've never done hands, and hands are famously hard, but you know, we'll see how the hands go. If that's one of the things about painting, or I don't know what you guys think, but in my opinion, you could have something that looks really cool, but if you can't depict the hands, it's pretty rudimentary. A football helmet isn't that hard to do. Hands are kind of a disaster. Oh, football. Why do I like football so much? Football's just, I guess you could say football runs in my family. Yeah, everyone likes football. My mom likes football. My dad likes football. My brother loves football. My brother got me into football. And I guess, just when you're a kid and stuff, you watch stuff with your brother and it's fun. And you just get into it. And it's also, an easy way for men to connect with each other. Like, if you're a man, for me, I just, I could be anywhere and I meet random people all the time and you say, you see them wearing, oh, what are you, a Miami fan? Hey, you guys, and, if you pay attention to football, you'll just, you see anyone. Oh, who are you a fan of? That team? And, if you like football like me, you just say, dang, you guys had a killer year, or man, you guys are, gonna get him next year or whatever, or I like this guy. It's just like an easy way to connect and make conversation with people. And that's what I really like about it. Well, okay, so that's one thing I like. And then the other thing is, just the game of football itself is like a really amazing game. And, I don't think it gets the credit that it's due all the time. Because it's like the jock stereotype or whatever. But, really you have to think about it. There's the jock point of view where it's like basically like an athletic performance, an athletic achievement, and there is that, but it's not purely athletic. It's like intensely mental, and like the amount of mind games that go on, and like fakes, and you fake something because you think the other team's gonna do this, or it's basically like it's a very high level chess match, but it's the pieces, instead of being in chess, all the pieces are fixed and they could do X amount of things and that's it. In football, the pieces are real humans, so it's like literally anything could happen. Sometimes guys just quit in the middle of the game and run off the field, like totally bonkers stuff like that happens. So it's like a chess game, but with these like totally crazy pieces that could do anything. And so then there's that aspect of football, which is really fun. And there's, it's also, just a great drama. Like, what could be a more interesting or exciting drama? You watch the Super Bowl, sure, the guys make money and they're motivated by money and selfish interests and, oh, I want to be rich or whatever. But a big part of the motivation in the Super Bowl especially, you get these guys who grew up watching football. They love football. They grew up, and their childhood dream is to, play in the Super Bowl and basically be a hero in the Super Bowl. And now they have a chance to, do that. And so I think of it as like watching a play. Like if you watch a play, you have the actors on stage who've basically dedicated their lives to enacting that play. And there's somebody who wrote the play that, dedicated their life to writing that play and making it an interesting play. And there's all the effort and work that goes into it. And the only difference between football and like a play on the stage is that football isn't scripted. So nobody knows what's going to happen. It's scripted by the actors. It's basically like a live improv. And so you view it like, think if you had like, if you were watching a play where anything could happen in the next moment and anybody's, on either team, the hopes and dreams of their whole life and their whole legacy. And, you go on Wikipedia, it says, you look up a coach on Wikipedia, so-and-so is a Super Bowl champion. Or it will say, so-and-so never won the Super Bowl. It's your legacy, it's your life, it's everything. To me, it's a great chess game, and it's the greatest drama. Live sports, I think, are just the greatest drama that I could watch. What could be more dramatic? And yeah, there's millions of dollars on the line, but you watch football, guys give their bodies. There's like a famous Super Bowl play where the guy was on the Rams, scored the winning touchdown. Damn, I got paint in my coffee. Scored the winning touchdown with a broken leg. And so imagine that, you have a broken leg, and it's deeper than money. There's more than money involved. Nobody's running and getting tackled on a broken leg just for money. It's for pride, it's for passion, it's for love, it's for life. It's the best stuff. I love football. Oh, well, probably the New Year's, New Year's, you're probably thinking of college football, because that's when they do all the bowl games and the Rose Bowl and stuff. That's all around New Year's. But then the Super Bowl, New Year's, the NFL is really just ending. The regular season is ending, and then New Year's is the time for New Year's. Oh, it's when playoffs start for the NFL. I don't know if you guys could see this, but do you see kind of like a line right here? That's like a really difficult thing on this canvas. It's driving me nuts because it's the same as the back of this canvas, and there's like this solid piece of wood, and then the canvas presses against a piece of wood, and you end up with this line that goes across the middle of the painting. It looks terrible. It's driving me nuts. This is hard to paint. All right. I need to make another coffee because I got paint in my coffee. But I'll be right back in like 30 seconds. It's, oh yeah, even, yeah, that's funny. I've seen AI hands. That's so funny. Oops. It's like every small detail with AI. That's what they're gonna fix it and make AI better, but it's like a really interesting thing. When like what AI is doing is it just looks at an image and says, you know, here it is, blop, spits out like just numbers of what the colors should be. But that shows that it doesn't actually, there's no like deeper thing going on. It's not understanding. Like when I'm painting the hands, I'm not only thinking, this color goes there, that color goes there. It's also like there's like this conceptualization of the fingers. I understand, hey, this is a finger. I'm making a finger which is connected to the hand. It's not like a finger is like a concept in my head, like a deep thing that I understand, very well. It's like very multifaceted. And so what's that show? To me, that shows that the AI actually doesn't have any concept of fingers. When it's painting, it's just blah, 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 colors. It's not actually, there's nothing deeper going on. It can't be communicating how it feels about the world, or, and if it's communicating how it feels about the world, it should have some understanding of what fingers are. That's, I guess, to go back to our conversation about AI last night, that's one reason I think it's a bunch of hokey pokey, is it doesn't make an attempt at drawing I think it would be cooler if AI drew like really rudimentary fingers, like a kindergartner or something, rather than just, a kindergartner would never draw those AI hands that you see. Do you think? I don't think so. I think a kindergartner would draw like just, big block fingers. It's two different ways of approaching it. But I've been really interested in like art AIs. You can see on my YouTube, I made a generative art algorithm. And that will be like a really cool, thing coming up in the near future, I think, is like linking AIs, the art part with like the actual meaning and logic and thinking. And oh yeah, I don't even remember what I was saying about AI and painting. I have a whole bunch of ideas about it, but my dream is, so I do like this sort of painting. I'm like, okay, this is my style. I'm painting Jayden Daniels. My ultimate dream would be I make a robot. I think this would be like its own art installation, is I would make a robot that paints things in this style, and then I could just like send the robot out somewhere. I think it'd be cool to send the robot, like, go stand on a street corner and like paint what you see. Just paint like whatever's in front of you. And then somebody might go like stand in front of it and like have it paint them. And the robot's only mission is to paint. And then it will have to like pay for energy somehow. And so people can like basically pay it whatever they think it's worth for a painting. And then that would be like, there's like this whole thing about like, what would robots be like living in the world? Like it's basically like another species. And so I think that would be like the first, like a really cool first foray into like robots merging with our world, is just a robot, like a little painter robot. And like people always think about robots as like doing useful things, and that's where like a lot of the money is. But I dream of like a future robotic world where there's not only, robots running around like doing errands for us and taking us places and delivering us our food or things that we want. It should also be like cool and romantic and fun and interesting, and you should like walk down the street and there's like a robot there. Hello, I'm painting here. Hey, and you should say, hey robot, please move. You're in the way. You're in a bad spot. And it said, they should just be respectful of us and say, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry for taking up so much space. Let me, but that's a robot world that would be cool. If you just walk around and there's robots cutting the grass and stuff, it's like, scary and cold. I want the robot world to be warm and exciting, and like the future that people always dream about with the flying cars and stuff. That's flying cars isn't because it's practical. Nobody wants flying cars because it's practical. We want flying cars because it's awesome and beautiful and romantic. You know. So anyway, that's the future robot world I want. I don't even know what I was saying last night about AI and painting. I was just blabbing, I think. Blabbing about my ideas. But yeah, you're right. AI can't do hands either. Ava. I have cheesehead. Oh, you have cheesehead relatives. Well, okay, that means you at least know like a decent amount about football if you know that they're cheeseheads. If you're aware that they're cheesehead relatives. Yeah, the Packers, did they lose last week? I don't know. I don't remember if they lost last week or the week before. Who did the Packers lose to? Yeah, I'm not remembering. Did they? Yeah, I don't even remember who the Packers lost to. Poor cheeseheads. Tell your cheesehead relatives I'm sorry for their... Well, I don't know. I'm not sorry. I'm a Seahawks fan, so the Seahawks didn't even make the playoffs. Seahawks 2 years in a row have come within the final game. They could have made the playoffs on the final week of the season. 2 years in a row. And 2 years in a row we've lost on the final week of the season. But oh well. That's football. That's the other thing that makes football so good. In the NFL, you have 17 games. In college, you have 12 games. Compare that to baseball, you have 162 games. Basketball, you have, I think, 84 games or 82 games. So you tune into a random basketball game or a random baseball game that, your team could lose. It doesn't even matter. You could still make the playoffs and win the championship. You turn into a random football game, that's like a really important game. Any game of the season, every game, every moment of every game almost is like important for your team. And if your team loses the first 3 games, then it's depressing. Oh my gosh, the season's over. I'm going to have to wait. That's what makes it good is like the wait, You wait a whole year for your team, and then you watch your team, play poorly, and you think, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to wait a whole year again, and so that's kind of a pain in the butt. But sports don't take much of an investment, and the NFL is easy. If you're a fan of a team, you have to tune in. Oh, oops, I messed up the secondary one. Sorry. Anyway, sports, it's like it's a minimal investment. If your team's doing terribly and it's not making you happy anymore, then just turn the game off. And, you all you have to do to follow your team or whatever is tune in once a week for 3 hours and do that 17 times a year. Same thing, I love sports, if you can't tell. But I love the UFC too. The UFC is great for the same reason. UFC has fights every week, but their big fights happen once a month. And then there's 1 month in July where they have 2 fight cards. And I don't know if you guys know how UFC works. A fight card, there will be 10 fights happen in a night, and it lasts for... If you watch the prelims, it'll last 5 or 6 hours. If you just watch the main card, it'll last 3 or 4 hours. So, and all the big fighters usually fight on the main cards. So if you want to be a fan of the UFC, all you have to do is tune in once a month for 3 hours. And you basically know everything that's going on in the UFC. And so, I like sports like that where it doesn't take much investment to follow. You spend a few hours a week and you're totally in on this team. and then it's, this long-term thing where when your team watch, if you want, like, or things that make me happy is sometimes you'll watch, you could find videos online of like old people anytime a team wins a championship, and it's like, oh, this guy watched the team for 40 years and they didn't win and they finally won. And imagine that. Imagine every week you tune in and your team loses and you think, okay, well, we'll get them next week, and then you finally win. Oh, that must be, think about it compared, like I was saying earlier, compare it to a play, and just think about the drama of it. Imagine, like, there's nothing like that in the play world or movies or something like that. Imagine watching the same play, that could have any outcome, and you watch the same play for 40 years hoping that the outcome will be different, and it never happens. And then after 40 years, you finally get the outcome you want. Like, man, that must, what even could be more rewarding in your whole life, waiting that long for something? So yeah, there you have it. That's my pitch on the magic of sports. And I think there's this general disconnect where, that happens. I think it happens typically in school, where there's like this disconnect between sports and the arts, and people who partake in the arts, there's like the whole jock thing happens, and people who like the arts say, oh, we don't like the jocks, and all that stuff. But basically what happened, and then the flip thing happens too. All the people in sports are like, oh man, we don't like art or whatever. We don't like artsy fartsy stuff. We like sports. We like tough guy stuff. So it happens both ways. But what arts people end up missing out on is you miss out on this amazing drama, the great drama of our time. And I used to live in Seattle. Now I live in Baltimore. But any big city, walk around the big city, and usually, most big cities in the United States have a football team. So, like, just walk around the city and you'll see the stadium. And then the stadium's like the biggest building in the whole city. Like, maybe not height-wise, but as far as how wide it is and the whole parking lot around it. You go there and, like, this is a common thing that people say about the United States. They say that we used to be a religious country where we all went to church on Sundays, and that stopped. Now our religion is football. And it really is true. If aliens were to come to the United States and said, what's going on with this species? They would say, Sundays in fall, they get together and practice their religion. 100,000 people meet at the biggest building in the city and watch this game happen. What could be greater drama than that? Like, imagine a play, like a live play where 100,000 people show up. In my opinion, it's the greatest drama of our time, and I just think it's too bad that people miss out on the drama, because it's like, oh, it's like a jock thing, and it's like, it is sort of, but watch the Super Bowl. If you guys want to watch a cool football play, watch the play of Josh Allen versus the Chiefs in the playoffs from, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, and he died. He's going to the end zone and he does an epic dive. Or here's the other thing about football is we all discuss our morals that way. Like in the 2015 Super Bowl. Or the 2015 season, 2016 Super Bowl, Cam Newton, who was like the best QB at the time, there was a fumble in the Super Bowl. He could have dove on it. He chose not to dive on it because he didn't want to get injured. And basically, all football fans came together and scorned him. So it's also how a lot of people in our country, at least, interpret their morals. And it's, you get together and say, hey, that guy acted cowardly. That guy didn't take responsibility for his team. He didn't do the right thing. Football, so interesting. There's so many aspects to it. I find it just totally fascinating. Oh, I keep blabbing, but to get back to the your question from forever ago, Leaf, the colors. This was already here. This was like an abstract colors painted all around from my ex girlfriend. She took all her stuff out of our apartment, but she left some paintings that she didn't want that she said I could use. So I said okay. So that was my background, and then from there I just started. I just used black or Payne's gray. It's called. Apparently, you don't want Payne's gray. You don't want to use actual black. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just too intense, but it's basically black. And in the picture I'm using, he's wearing a black uniform. So I just used black or Payne's gray to block off like the general shape. And then from there, it's the same thing I was describing yesterday. Once I have there's the base color is he's wearing a black uniform. And so I blocked that off in black, and then everything else is really just contrasts. I mean, I guess this is sort of lifelike because his neck's, it goes from like brown to orangish to yellow, so this is kind of lifelike, but it'll probably go away. But yeah, from there I'm just mixing all the colors. But see all these colors on his shirt, but there's, the actual jersey is black. So I don't know, it's just back to that thing I think is so cool. Like, look, like the way that you show shape, like look at it, like the forearm, that looked like nothing. But then all I added was zoop. That's just, that's not very profound or anything. That's just a quick line and a quick line. And suddenly it looks like a real forearm because you have those highlights on there. Anyway, I think that's cool. Mexican chocolate is bad too. What is Mexican chocolate? Mexican candy, they like to put like spicy. Mexican candy, they like the sweet and the spicy. I like that too, but I can't handle too spicy. Sometimes I've had, too much cinnamon. Yeah, that's exactly what they do. Mexicans love the sweet and spicy. Same with I guess Mexicans just love flavors because there's the chelada, the beer that you sprinkle the chili. I don't even know what you put on, but it's like chili powder and other stuff on beer. You like the sweet and the hot. Oh yeah, I'm going off a picture. I'm not that. I would like to be good enough at painting so that I go off my imagination, but I don't paint people. I've painted a bunch of landscapes off my imagination like this, and that's not too hard for me to do because I've done trees and stuff, but I've never really done people, so people are hard for me to do. This is the first one I did from September. That's a self-portrait, which, as Leaf said last time, my head is too wide. Which, Leaf, you really nailed that. I couldn't have said it more succinctly myself. I think that's basically the whole problem with this is I thought my head looks too dang wide. I almost look like a chimpanzee. So I took two different pictures and, based this on those two pictures. Then there's the one of my Aunt Rand. This is also just based going off of a picture. But the thing is, I don't know how to draw faces. And this is the first actual body I've drawn. Oh yeah, I forgot. We're both working on figures. You called it figures. That I assume that means you're it's painting bodies and stuff. So this is the first figure I've done. So eventually I'd like to just do it from memory, but I'm just not, I'm not good at it. I've never painted an arm before. I don't know how to do an arm. Where the heck did I put my, oh. Yeah, so, um, once I get good, I'll do it from memory. That's my dream. Chocolate has ingredients that mimic love in the brain. Like, what's that chemical? It releases oxytocin. Is that what it is? Can you finish what you were saying last night about AI and painting? Wait, I don't remember. Wait, I don't remember what I was saying. Remind me. What was I saying? I don't even remember. Oh, I'm way behind on these. All right, let me go through these real quick and catch up. Can you finish what you're saying? Yeah, I don't remember. Leaf, remind me what I was talking about. Yeah, look up AI hand stuff. It sucks at it. Or if you look up any, it's not just the hands. Like AI, it's funny. Like there's like AI. You could tell it, hey, make jacked dudes, and like it just messes up. It gets like muscles. It understands like how muscles curve and stuff, but then it messes up everything with like it'll draw like instead of 8 abs or 6 abs or whatever, you really have 8 abs, but some people only show 6. Um, it'll show like 10 abs or 12 abs, and it just draws extra muscles. Wait, what do you mean? Why not swimming or basketball? Why don't I? Well, if if you're referencing when I was saying what I like and don't like, it's just because well, swimming. I gotta be honest, I just don't find that interesting. It's like football's like this really complicated chess game where the coaches are battling each other and then the players are battling each other, um, and you could view the game as like a battle, and the path to the Super Bowl is the war, and the whole or the yeah the game is like this contained thing, and the bigger game is the path to the Super Bowl, and the even bigger game is the interseason. Getting coaches signing a 5-year contract. Oh, we'll have him in 5 seasons, stuff like that. So there's all these different games are going on at once, and also this chess match, and then also every play is a game between the receivers facing off against the corner. Well, they have their own game going on. The O line is having their own game with the D line, and so yeah, swimming. Really, the only thing that's going on is swimming is way more just like pure athleticism because there's not. I guess there's strategy and stuff, but the strategies are well known, the techniques are well known. It's just about refining technique and strategy. And football every year people come up with brand new things, and they're like, hey, we're going to try this, and it works, and then like the whole league picks it up, and now the game changes every single year with football. Not so much. I mean, I don't watch swimming that much. I just from my limited knowledge of swimming, I don't think it's constantly changing like football is. So it's less interesting. Lots of artists put full-length cardboard there. Wait, what do you mean put full-length cardboard where? To do the hands? Oh, the reason there's so many hands tutorials is because they're so hard to do, I think. It's just hard to do. Oh yeah, it would definitely do me well to get a, to get rid of the wood thing. Man, that's great. Oh, I didn't even think about that. I'm actually gonna, I'll be right back. I gotta write myself a note. Man, thank you, Ava. That's a great tip. That's exactly what I need to do is get cardboard. That's great. Just what I need to do. Yeah, I need a better canvas, but this is just the one. I don't I don't have a car or anything, so going to Michael's to get canvases is a big pain in the butt. So I'm avoiding doing that if there's any way to avoid it. But that cardboard tip is terrific. Thank you. And yeah, it does tell the whole story. I took when I was in college, you have like all those like basic classes you have to take. I took like a Roman art history class, and the only thing I really remember, the thing that really struck me is like before the Romans were like the Etruscans, or I think when the Romans were like growing, the Etruscans were another group of people, I think to the north, and they had like a unique art style, but they drew hands like huge. And if you just look up Etruscan art if you're interested in it, and they have like these huge hands that are like the hands are super expressive and like very important. Anyway, that's what I always think of when I think of like fingers and hands and stuff in the art. And yeah, you're right. It tells the whole story. Like the position his fingers are in this painting is like, if the fingers don't look good, then it just looks stupid. It's just not a real thing. And if the fingers look good, if the fingers are perfect and holding the ball perfect, and the hand that's off the ball is, the fingers are perfectly stretched, it shows the hands in a relaxed position and stuff, then it's believable. I think it's like those tiny details like that really make it believable. It's like the teeth in a mouth. If you don't nail the teeth, then um, you can't make it really good. Yeah, I made an algorithm. An algorithm is basically just a recipe. It's just like something that you automate in code. If like when you go to a website and like fill out a form, there's an algorithm to take whatever you put into the form and submit it, and like put it in the website database or whatever. But that's all an algorithm is. So yeah, I just wrote some code in Python to. I have this here. Let me go get another picture real quick. Okay, so I have this style, which is basically, it's like this super simple rudimentary thing, and everything. I made it up when I was like I think I was in fourth or fifth grade. I think fifth grade, but I just started drawing like 2 or 3 sided shapes, and the rule was basically everything had to have 2 or 3 sides, and then each side had to be curved. And then I just draw the shapes so that they should each have like a uniform gap between each other. And then you end up looking like that. Um, sometimes they touch, so it's not perfect. But it's like this really basic thing, and all you need, the whole, piece of art is really just me taking these 2 rules and then just repeating. And so that just seemed like a really easy thing to have a computer do. Um, so my goal was just I wanted to make like the thing I was saying about the robots. I wanted to make a robot, and they have these things. It's called an XY plotter, and it's basically like we'll just draw with a pencil in 2D. So I wanted to make something that would basically I could start it, and then it would draw basically this pattern. It would draw and just keep repeating it forever. I just thought that would be, what a cool piece of art is just something that zoop, 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 and it goes on until the end of time. But it's making something like this, which is cool. Anyway, that's I guess that's still an idea I have that I just haven't done. But the first step for doing that was doing what I was just describing, but instead of actually drawing it with the XY plotter, just rendering it on a computer. And I kind of did that. I got like a bad rudimentary version to work. I never got it to work how I wanted it to. Um, but yeah, you could. That's like if you go to my YouTube page, that's like the pinned video on the page. Because I spent so much time on that. But yeah, anyway, I hope this is good motivation. Maybe, you know, talking about it will get me interested in doing the project again. Um, but yeah, it's basically just Python code. Wait, Ava, what do you mean? Might as well take a photo of what? I'm scared of. Oh, yeah. I guess I don't know. Robots are so interesting because it's either fun or scary. Robot matchmakers sounds scary. Robot psychic sounds like it could be cool. Also scary. Tarot reading would be cool. Yeah, runs its own yoga studio. Oh, Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark's cool. She had a stalker. That's basically what I've been hearing about Caitlin Clark is her stalker. Yeah, football did totally replace church. Thanks, Ava. Have a good night. Oh, I wasn't saying you were put off. I was just saying that's what, or maybe you were put off, but I don't think that's what you said. I was just saying that the head was too wide, which I think I agree with. I think that you just put it succinctly because for the longest time I was thinking, this thing doesn't quite look right, but I can't really explain why, but that was the reason why. That's why it didn't look right, is because the head was too big. But I couldn't be happier with that one as an improvement over the previous one, so I'm happy with it. All right. Where did I put that white? The part of his collar is light. I'm just trying to get that down. Then it goes into that darker part. Oh, well, it took so long because so the first thing you have to do is specify, um, so you could just start in the middle of the drawing, um, is the obvious place to start. And then you draw a random line. So uh, the first kind of obstacle was that, okay, how do you draw this curved line? Um, and there's all sorts of like mathematical lines you could do, but there are there are a lot of obvious curves you can do, but like very simple curves. And so the first thing that was hard was um, you need to do any curve. You can't be limited to a certain like mathematical path. Um, and so then yeah, I needed to do any curve to draw a simple shape. So doing one shape wasn't that hard. The hard thing was then getting the second shape to fit in there. Um, and then, that wasn't so hard. But then basically where I left it off was that it was working and like the shapes were fitting in well, but each shape just kept getting bigger and bigger, and they should all kind of maintain the same size. And so, or like it would do like one shape and then it would draw another shape bigger and then another shape bigger. And when I'm drawing it, there's a thing I do where um, I end up with like a little bit of space and then I draw kind of like a funky shape. Sometimes I even break the rule and give it four sides if I need to make it fit. Um, and so there's nothing in the algorithm that does that right now and maintains the same size. So I basically got stuck on figuring that out, and I thought like the one that I made, I was like, this already looks cool to me. This is basically what I wanted to make, and I'm happy with how it looks. So I basically was just done with it and didn't want to spend any more time on it. No, because that would be a good thing to do. I just don't have a size parameter. Um, Actually, that would be the. Let's see. So why didn't that work? I think because that you're basically nailed the thing you want to do is okay, here's the area of the shape, and then make sure the area of the shape is within a certain range. I think it's because when I'm drawing the curve that connects the so you draw one shape, that's fine, and then when you're drawing the next shape, basically the requirement is that the lines you're drawing, one of them should start offset from a line in the first shape, and then it should be parallel to the line in the first shape. Okay, so then you have one line. Now you need to draw a second line. And I basically just guessed. I said, let it draw any second line, guess at random second lines, and as long as that second line doesn't cross over the first shape, then it's valid. Um, and so then if I add something, because I did that, I added something to fix the areas to be in a certain range. Um, but then I say, okay, the area has to be a certain range. Then it tries to find, that second connecting line for the shape. And then it will basically just take forever. It breaks the algorithm because it takes too long for it to find a solution. Um, it can find a solution if it keeps making the shapes iteratively bigger. So basically I need a more efficient, rather than just saying, hey, keep trying and testing different lines until you get one that works, I need a better way to do that. But again, I was basically just happy with how it worked. I was like, I don't really need to, get it to work perfectly. I was happy with it. And, if I need some motivation to work on it, I need to feel like my motivation there was really simple. It was just I want to make this thing, and then I felt like I made it to the point where I was happy with it. So I lost all my motivation to complete the project. So now I need more motivation. I need to get a new idea. I need to get it in my head that, hey, I really just want to make that one that works. I have it in my head that I would like to make that, robot that, like the artist robot, which is drawing it, but, that's a super complicated project, that has, so much to it. Yeah, it just feels like if I start it, then to get to like a point where I'm like happy with the project, I would need to do so much work. Which, lots of work is good. It's just, what do I want to spend my time doing? Really doesn't, the shoulder really doesn't round that much. Yeah, but it rounds more than that. Because even though the three shapes are more or less the same size, but the curves can't be defined with a clear constraint, if I'm right. No, it's because the three shapes aren't the same size. It's because it's easiest for the algorithm to make the second shape a bigger shape. The algorithm favors a second shape. After it draws a shape, the next shape, just the way the algorithm leans, is going to be bigger. No, I've never heard of it. Robot does art. Yeah, I mean, I can't be the only guy with the idea. I mean, I'm like decently smart. I'm definitely not the smartest. So if I have the idea, somebody else has for sure had the idea. The question is, how do you make it marketable? And that's a pretty interesting problem. And yeah, so if you're a company making a robot art, how do you make money? How do you, I mean, I guess you sell it? That should be a little lower. Right? No? No, maybe, well, lots of them are similar sized. I might have, let me look at the video again, because I might have just picked, I made it so that it will generate picture after picture. And then for the video, I sped it up and put music over it. So are they getting bigger or smaller? Oh, I can't see my pinned video. All right.
Monday.com, the opposite of any work platform we tried in the
All right,
past.
guy.
Tried other work management platforms, not naming names.
Skip. Oh yeah, they're not getting bigger. Huh. I guess I don't remember the problem. I mean, that was the problem, but... Yeah, you know what? Now that I'm looking at it, I think the problem is more that... That might not be the problem. I guess maybe I don't understand. I guess maybe I forgot the problem. It was... I think it's more that, I guess the problem is more that it draws the first one and then it kind of goes out to the side. I don't know why it kind of... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I figured out that, that thing of them getting bigger, that might have been an old problem that I figured out. Maybe I don't even remember what the problem was. If they were the same sizes, it would be easier. Yeah. I don't even remember what the problem is, I guess. I think it was much more that it just draws everything to the side. computer. Oh no, I split the screen. Has it not always been like that? On my on my streaming software, it's shown a split screen the whole time, but I don't know. I don't know if that just start for you? Did it used to be like a single screen and then it changed to split screen? Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what changed. This is basically the same setup that I've had for a while. Um, yeah, I basically do it this way because I mean there's not much of a point with this one because it's already fairly big, but typically I like to do a zoomed up version. But I don't know. What do you think? Do you like it better with the split screen or do you like it better without? Let me know so I know how to change things up. The split screen is because I always in my streaming software it always has the split screen. Um, why it suddenly appeared, I have no idea. I don't understand why it suddenly appeared. That blue go. I posted this painting on Reddit, and the team that this guy's on is the Commanders. So I posted it in the Commanders subreddit, and I have all of these people replying asking to buy it. So now I just have to finish it, and I've already sold it. Well, I have buyers. I keep asking for people. What do you think I should sell it for? Without for sure looks. Oh, without split screen. I don't even. Is the split screen? What is the split screen showing? Is one side of the screen just like a zoomed in version? No, I could just. You can basically make infinite. It's all just going off the same camera. It just has a zoomed in version. I'm just trying to figure out why that's happening. Sorry, I'm just messaging people about this painting right now. I've never sold a painting before, Leaf. How much do you think I should sell this for? I said 2 to 300. That's what my brother advised me. My brother's a master negotiator, so he's my go-to guy on when I when people started asking me if they could buy it. But yeah, what should I charge? The picture I posted was 1.5 hours in. It is currently at 3.5 hours. Okay. Let's take a picture of it. That looks nice. How's that look? Oh yeah, yeah. I'm being serious. How much? I don't know how much to charge for it though, because my original idea was I always thought I'll charge whenever I could sell a painting. If somebody just wants to buy my painting, I thought I'll sell it for $1. Um, but I need money. I'm badly in need of money, so I think, wow, if I could sell it for $200, I guess I started getting greedy, but there's a thin line between being greedy and knowing your worth. Um, and I just think what a good opportunity to make $200 if I could get somebody to pay it, but who knows? No, I don't know if this shows all the time. I just have it. Um, I have it. It should show all the time if my streaming software is working properly. But I just don't really know if my streaming software is working right. So I have to figure that out. Now this is kind of awkward. Drawing the inside of the arm. Yeah, I have no idea what to charge for it. It's also hard, art's just kind of a hard thing to charge for because, have you ever been to an art gallery? They have an art gallery here in Baltimore, and I don't know what it's called, but it's some guy, and he doesn't even paint anything. He paints like checkered patterns. I see them, I think that's not even a painting. He's not even trying to make anything. He's just mushing around colors. Um, and then you see what that guy charges. Well, he charges thousands of dollars for his bullshit paintings. So, you think, what is a painting worth? This painting isn't that good. I wouldn't say this is some great painting or something, but it's not just total bullshit like that guy's, and he charges thousands of dollars. And so then the next question is, well, does he sell anything charging thousands of dollars, or does he just charge thousands of dollars and nobody buys it? I don't know. I don't know. problem for me remains the same. It's just, what the hell am I supposed to charge? And then, it's just a free market. It's exciting to sell something. You just are always stuck with, then there's so many different ways to view it. There's the way of viewing it of how much would you charge if you wanted to part with it? Well, or how much would I pay for this? If I finish this, if I spend, 5 hours tomorrow and then finish this off, and then I were to lose the painting, how much money would I pay to get the painting back in my possession? I don't know. Let's see, if I could sell one painting a week, that's 52 paintings a year. And if they're $200 each, it's well, that's not very much money. If you sell 50 paintings a year and you want to make $100,000, oh my God, you need to sell them for $2,000 each? Yeah, so then what even mean? But if you want to charge an extra 100 and send it to me for being your supporter, I'd appreciate it. What does that mean? Does that mean you want to buy it? I'll send it to you. That would be terrific. But it would also be probably, I don't have any painting experience. Wouldn't it be more interesting? It would probably be more interesting to you if I painted something that was unique to you. So if you're gonna pay, what do you want Jayden Daniels for? He's just some guy. But yeah, of course I would sell this to you. Oh yeah. Well, his are bullshit. It was like the thing I was saying last night. Is the whole point of art is you have an idea in your head. It doesn't matter what it looks like. The only thing that matters is that you poured your effort and your brain. You put an honest effort into it. That's basically what makes art, in my opinion. And maybe like this is the big problem of human experience. I'm stuck to my experience. I don't know that guy's experience. I'm just giving my estimation. Maybe that is real art. Maybe I just don't, maybe I don't appreciate the art. Maybe it's as simple as that. I just have no way of appreciating. I see his things. I think that's just bullshit. And I'm, some uneducated swine. And I just don't see it. I don't see the art. I'm incapable of seeing the art. That's what happens. I think football is art. I think people don't see the art in football, and they're incapable of viewing the art. So that's one thing about art, is sometimes people look at what is real art and they say, hey, that's bullshit. That's fake art. That's just a bunch of bullshit, because they can't appreciate that. Maybe that's what I'm doing. So I don't know, I'm just a guy. But what I'm picking up is that it's bullshit, because I look at it and I just see it's like here, I'll give you an example. Here's something that guy would paint. basically like that, just some crossing thing, and then imagine I keep doing this, and then layer it thick with paint, and do it over and over, and then that's his piece of art. Well, I just think that's not there's levels to it. And it's not about comparing yourself to other people. It's about comparing yourself to yourself and progressing past your own levels. And the level that I'm painting at right now should be higher than the level that I was making art at 5 years ago, which should be higher than the level I was making art at when I was 8 years old. And I look at something like just simple crosses done over and over. Well, that's something I would have done when I was 8. And when I was 8, I would have done that, and I would have thought, this is kind of boring. I'm not very interested in this. I'm gonna, I want to do some more exciting patterns than simple crosses. So I guess that's just why I think it's not art. Mine, I don't think are that good because I haven't spent that much time on painting. I've spent a lot of time on art, drawing and doing graffiti. I've spent basically countless hours of my life doing. So I think, those I would say I'm pretty high level at. But, if we're talking painting, I would say I'm a low level painter. I'm basically at the bottom. I'm as low as you could get with painting because I didn't even paint at all until I've been painting for less than 3 years. And in those 3 years, I had a big burst where I painted a lot in 2022 for a few months. And then I painted a lot in September for about a month last year. And now I'm just getting back into it again. So I just don't think, I don't think these can be that good. I mean, good is subjective. I don't even know what good means, but in my opinion, these are kind of like rudimentary paintings. And I think if I, keep at it with painting for a long time, I think eventually I'm gonna get to a point where I kind of level off and I'm not gonna get much better. And I'm still learning stuff. Like this is the first profile I've done. I've never done a profile before. I'm learning how to paint bodies and stuff. And I think I'll probably look at this and if I never really know am I gonna keep with painting or am I just gonna get bored with it. I really have no idea. So, assuming that I keep painting, let's assume that I'm still painting in 10 years. I think I would look back at this and say, hey, that's a pretty rudimentary painting. But 10 years in the future, I would look at a painting, from 5 years previous, and I think it would be basically indistinguishable from my present ability. So I just think that, I'm on this curve of getting good at painting, and I'm still at the bottom of the curve. And that's basically all I mean when I say these aren't very good. Good is totally subjective. And the only thing that actually makes it good art is that I put effort into it. Outside of that, everything is aesthetics. If somebody thinks that it's aesthetically pleasing to them. But, art, just because something's aesthetically pleasing doesn't mean it's art. So that aesthetically pleasing bit is like the last piece of the puzzle. You have to, I'm pouring my effort into this painting. Therefore, it's real art, in my opinion. I'm still learning how to paint, So, in my opinion, it's um, kind of rudimentary art. This isn't highly refined, whatever. I don't know if that's making much sense. Oh. Yeah, me neither. I think that all the time with paintings. I think I would love that painting, and then it costs whatever it costs, and I think I can't afford that. But boy, if there was a painting for like 15 or 20 bucks, I would buy that. But you can buy prints that way, but prints aren't as cool as buying an original. Well, I don't need the money that badly. I'm lucky because I'm an American. If you live in America, you never really need money that bad because you can always declare bankruptcy. Um, but I just could go for some money. I basically don't make very much money at my job. So I'm constantly in need of money, and I'm picking up side jobs all the time to get, extra money. And so, whoa, how cool would it be if I just, this painting, which I already do, if I didn't have to pick up any side jobs anymore? How cool would that be if I could just paint? So, I got greedy as soon as I found out people wanted to buy it. I thought, let me maximize the amount of money I can get out of here. Because that would be great for me. It would be great to maximize the amount of money I get from this painting. Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. That's the thing about museums. I like the all art is something that you could pour your effort into. Museums, like that's just or getting people to buy your art is just luck. If somebody buys your art, you basically got lucky. If it ends up in a museum, you're lucky. You're good, obviously, but I think it mostly comes down to luck. If you like art, do you ever go to galleries or anything? I see stuff in galleries and I think, how the hell did this make it in a gallery? Or in museums, I think, how the hell did this end up in a museum? This is just crap. Whoever made this put no real effort in. And I think, how did it end up there? I don't know. Or, the way it really ends up there is because there's people who are in charge who don't know about art. So they don't have any taste. And when people don't have any taste, they don't even know what they like. So if you don't know what you like, how do you know what's good? And they just don't. So they don't know what they like. They don't know what's good. They can't tell real art from fake art. So, they look and they think, oh, well, that looks interesting. Oh, and then, it's easy if you look at like classical art. If you look at art from like the 1800s, it's clear. It's like this is either like a real piece or it's not. But then you get like modern art comes in, and you could really make anything and claim it's modern art. If I was a well-known modern artist, I guarantee that would sell for like thousands of dollars, and it'd be the use of color or whatever, and it's just a bunch of bullshit. Look up Jeff Koons. Tell me what you think about Jeff Koons. Do you know Jeff Koons? Is that art? He makes those inflatable dog things. Is that art? Not to me. But some people think it is, so, what am I supposed to say about that? Jackson Pollock gets a lot of crap. They say, oh, Jackson Pollock, that's the example that's always used when, it's like modern art, hokey pokey BS. But there's the Baltimore Museum of Art is right by me, and they have a Jackson Pollock there, and it's not just drops of paint on the thing, it's a fish. It's an abstract fish, and it looks really cool, and there's, you could do things with like big, bold movement and it's still art, but you could also do things with big, bold movement where you're being a lazy ass and you're not making any art, and you just claim it's art, and that, you could kind of pull the wool over the eyes of all the people who don't appreciate art. All art is like using your brain. You use your brain and think, do I like this? Is this pleasing to me? Do I like how this looks, or do I not like how it looks? And that's all you have to do. And often the people who are like in charge of museums and stuff, they don't even know what they think. And that's who gets to decide. So that's life with art. You can't spend your life worried about trying to get noticed or whatever. I mean, look, nobody, in my opinion, the other stuff that I've done, not this, is like way more interesting. This is pretty cool. I kind of sold myself on it because I think Jayden Daniels is like awesome. So, I think this is cool, but I'm just surprised that anyone's interested in this of all things. But you catch a fan base, they're all excited because their team's finally doing well, and anyway, I think getting your stuff in the museum's all luck. And you gotta be good. Well, no. It's hard. Have you ever been to art museums? I've been to one of the most interesting art museums is the LA County Museum of Art. And, they have some modern art stuff in there that'll just blow your mind. You think, what the hell? That's art? They call that art? How the hell does that work? Oh yeah, well, I mean, side jobs aren't that interesting. It's basically just to make money. But I'm always working multiple jobs to scrap money together, uh, because I make no money. That's like one of the compromises I make is, but then, what is what's that worth not making any money? To me, it's worth a lot because I basically get this experience that I can't get elsewhere. So, it's all just a calculation of what is your time worth? What do you want to do with your life? Now I gotta nail this. Okay, that's gonna text back in there. Comes off, down, very quick and slight. good one. Oh, Romero Brito. I've never heard of Romero Brito. Let's see. Romero Brito is Brazilian. Oh, whoa. This guy must be famous because I'm pretty sure I've seen this stuff before. Yeah, I like that. That's really cool. I like how, I mean, obviously I like the color because I like color, but yeah, I like the color and it's big and bold. What is that, newspaper? Yeah, it looks like it's on a newspaper. Painting on a newspaper is a cool idea. Oh, good. Wow. Okay. Interesting. I'm Disclaimer is I'm not that confident in these ideas. This is basically just what I've thought out since September. I've been trying to think like what is art? I'm interested in art. And I'm trying to define like what is art in terms of like AI and stuff, and can AI make art? And part of my definition of art, or I guess I base my definition of art off of my deep desire for AI to not be able to make true art. And so I'm trying to differentiate what's something what makes it art. And I guess I arrived at, I think that like you have to put real effort into it. Okay, so if someone didn't put a lot of effort into it, can it still be art? I just don't think so. And I guess the question to that, so here's my question. Reply with your question to this. Because that's what I want to figure out. What was it? I lost my train of thought. Let me grab a water real quick. What was I trying to think? Oh, okay. Yeah. Oops. Okay, is that art? That's my question. Rate your reply. Tell me what you think. Is this art? This is just a blank page. Nothing has been painted on it. Does that count as art? Because that is one extreme. This would be absolutely no effort. I didn't do a thing here. Is that art? I think we can confidently say that if nothing was made, a lot of people don't think that his work is real art. Well, why do they say that? I mean, I don't really know enough about it probably. Like what's the criticism of his art? Is he painting that? Is he Oh, okay. Well, if that's because there's like kind of some valid stuff to modern art. Like the criticism that something's like too simplistic or childish is a stupid criticism. That's just subjective. You're like basically if somebody's saying, "Oh, Romero Brito's his art's too simplistic," then you're basically just imposing your taste. You're saying, "Oh, that's not my taste," which is fine if that's not your taste, but it's obviously art. I mean, obviously he had some idea, and then obviously he put effort into it to execute his idea. I think that makes it art. Anyway, that's tough. No, I don't have any vacation time, but There's so many. I have a really weird job. So, one of the really cool things about my job is that I have to travel for work. So, I get built in vacation to California. I'm going in a few months. We go to New York, Rochester, New York every year. Um, so, I don't get vacation and I can't even afford vacations. But um, I get to travel with work and whatever. But I like Romero Brito's stuff. That's if anyone says that that's not real art, then they don't understand themselves. You have to that's silly. Oh yeah, so then okay, so back to your point. If someone didn't put a lot of effort into it, can't it still be art? Well, there's some threshold of effort where it becomes art. And I think the threshold of effort is just an honest effort. And, that's like, there's no way of objectively knowing, hey, this was actually an honest effort or not. But the person who made it knows if it was an honest effort. Um, and, if you have just this blank page and nothing's been done to it, okay, so that's not art because no effort has been put in. Here, some effort has been put in, some colors go onto the page. I would say that's not an honest effort. I'm not making an honest effort at making anything, I'm just mushing around colors. So I think if you mush around colors, that's not art. If you have an idea for something and then you put in an honest effort to execute your idea, whether you actually even execute it or not is irrelevant. All that matters is that you had an idea and you put in an honest effort. I don't think you even need an idea. I think you could just start painting and not know where it's going to go. But the real key is you have to put in an honest effort, I think. Well, I see that all the time. That's like a common criticism of art like that. I think that guy's famous because I'm pretty sure I've seen his actual stuff before. But, if somebody's criticism is that something's too simplistic, if they're saying that's not art, that's too simplistic. Maybe it is, but it's not the case with that guy. That was real art, I think. But maybe that's what makes art interesting, just that, it's subjective, and I could say, hey, that's a real piece of art. I don't know, it's hard. Like LACMA, the LA County. Oh yeah, I got lucky with that. I'm pretty lucky to have my job. It's a cool job. The LA County Museum of Art. They have when I went there, they had just a pile of trash. And so, is that art? If you have a pile of trash, is a pile of trash art? I don't know. It's, is the pile of trash just random bullshit? Or, did this person put serious effort into it and construct it? I guess I just realized that's what makes modern art interesting, is it's not obvious whether somebody put effort into it or not. So you could have, is that pile of trash bullshit or is it art? And there's no way of knowing. Is that interesting? I don't know. It's not that interesting. John Bergerman. Okay, let me see John Bergerman. What do you mean? Why not honest effort? What do you mean? What's the context to that? John Bergerman. Oh, I get vacation. I just don't. I mean, I used it. I just used it for Christmas. That one looks like an emoji. Yeah, those guys have similar styles. John Bergerman and that other guy. They have one. They have one here that's just like a whole bunch of characters on a black background. Yeah, I like that. That's cool. It's kind of like Picasso. It sort of looks like some Picasso stuff. I don't know that much about painting. What other painters do you like? Yes, I think. Well, I think if you put in effort, I think if you put in an honest effort and it comes out poorly, then that's still art. And whether it's good art or, I think it's good art or art. I don't even know how to define whether it's good. I don't think good applies to art. I think it's either art or it's not art. And then beyond that, it's just, is this aesthetic or not? So, like, if I was trying to draw the same, if I was trying to paint the same painting of Jayden Daniels, and I was just terrible at painting, and I said, look, I did everything I could, and here is my best effort at drawing Jayden Daniels. I understand that doesn't look anything like him, but this is my best effort. That would still be art. That would still be real, true art. I think just nobody, people would see this and they wouldn't find it aesthetic. It wouldn't strike anybody. So nobody would buy it. What ends up happening with like modern art is that like people put bullshit like this up in a gallery, and then you have like wealthy people come in who don't have taste. Not that wealthy people don't have taste by rule, but just often wealthy people will be looking to invest in art and they don't have any taste themselves. They just say, I want some nice art to put on my walls. And they'll go in and they'll say, oh, I'll buy this thing. I'll pay $50,000 for that. Basically. Yeah, I like funny stories. Yeah, it'll be. I could just look it up. John Bergerman. There's one he drew that was like it. I think it was just an emoji. Yeah, send the YouTube video in the chat. The yellow go. Alright, I think that's gonna be it for this stream. It's almost midnight. I think you're the only person here, Leaf.